Right. Yo, it is another edition of the IOPS podcast, sponsored by Miller Lite, official partner of the Philadelphia Phillies. Tastes like Miller time. Philadelphia, celebrate responsibly. I was just joking with Jack. I have seen no baseball. I have seen no quotes. We never lie to the IOPS listeners. I was at a fish festival all weekend. It was freaking awesome.
What kind of fish did you catch?
Can you see it? My eyes are barely open. I'm actually going back to bed as soon as I'm done with this. Emily and Zoe are in bed waiting for me. But I love everyone. And I said, you know what? I'll come down because we have an event coming up and I want to talk about it. And otherwise, I'll let Jack talk to you a little bit. How's everyone doing?
Yeah, no, it's good. So Seltzer is going to go back to bed at 11:15 after he went to bed at, what did you go to bed, like 8 o'clock last night? So
yeah, it was like it was staying up a little later. I should have. I stayed up to like 10:30 last night. It was pretty tough.
Dude, I think you should start a podcast by yourself, and it's sleep time with James Seltzer, talking about your entire sleep schedule and how it operates.
That's what I want to do. I want to do more podcasts. Yeah. I'm looking to add to my total. So it's good.
Well, listen, man, it's good. And I hope you caught some good fish this weekend. Maybe like, some flounder, that's big in the Delaware area.
Is it? Yeah, it was good. Caught some fish.
It's good, man. Yeah, so what was he, 4 concerts? Because you were there for 4 days?
So 3, because I had to go to a baseball game with you on Thursday night, sadly. I wanted to go to 4, but I couldn't go to the 4th because I had to go to the baseball game on Thursday night. No, it was awesome. We saw a great game on Thursday night. That was the last Phillies baseball I watched. 13-3, kicking ass. A cycle in person for Jack Fritz, something that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, a year and a half ago would have been the most meaningful night of your life. And instead, it was like, oh, that's nice.
Well, the funniest part about that, the funniest part about that is that I left. Like, obviously, and but had I known, like. And I didn't even know he was going for the cycle.
So I didn't until I got home and I was watching on TV and they said it and I was like, well, how about that?
Yeah. I was happy he had 4 hits. You know what I mean? I didn't the cycle thing I didn't realize until I was in the car. I was like, oh crap, he's hit for the cycle. So that was awesome. And it does again further push down David Bell. They've only
he's out now. I know, how crazy is that? 9 people. Klein did it twice or something. How insane is that? They've had more no-hitters than they've had cycles.
Well, I think this all just comes back to Chuck Klein guy was pretty good. I heard, was it last week? Last week, I think you were talking about how he had 59 doubles in a year, and you were bummed because Bohm won't even come close to it.
I know.
Yeah. So it seems like he was a pretty good player.
A little underrated, Chuck Klein, maybe.
Yeah, Chuck Klein, Ed Delahanty, Billy Hamilton, dude. Billy Hamilton. If you go by hold on, I was looking it up the other day because I'm working on something.
He's an over 400 career hitter or something like that, right? Isn't he something like that?
Dude, he played almost no games for the Phillies, historically speaking wise, and is so far away, they're stolen base leader. It's crazy.
It's unbelievable, yeah.
That's the wrong Billy Hamilton.
Yeah, the one we watched. Yeah, it's a different one.
How funny is it that 2 of the best base stealers in the history of baseball are both named Billy Hamilton?
It's hilarious.
It is. It is hilarious.
Over here. Is this why I got out of bed to do this? Is this to look up Billy Hamilton's stats? I feel like,
dude, all I'm saying,
there's a better use of our time here.
So, last point on Billy Hamilton.
Yeah, sure.
Is that in 1890, 1891, 1894, and 1895, he had 100 steals. 100 steals in a season.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so he's basically the 1890s Ellie De La Cruz.
There you go. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. No, all right. Listen, you earned yourself some Justin Crawford talk already with the complaining 2 minutes
Why
in.
Are we here? Why are we here? What are we doing here? The Phillies are back. The Phillies are back.
They're back-ish. They're back-ish. And a lot of the talk on the station and in Phillies circles, I would say, heading into this Brave series is I need this one to believe that the Phillies are back. And I just don't. I want them to go down there. I want them to go down and step on a throat. They could theoretically end the division by going down there and sweeping or taking 2 or 3. I know technically they can't, but I think, dude, they just lost Austin Riley. You talk about You talk about
Austin Riley got hurt. I didn't even see it. Is he done?
6 to 8 weeks. He's probably done for the year. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Wow,
This
year.
is what they get. This is what they get for all those contracts. It's finally it's finally coming back around.
Deserved, yes.
So it just. And I've kind of felt this way for a little bit. Like I always have a little bit of fear of the Braves, but they don't feel like the classic, kind of, oh my God, there's the Braves. I mean, and it's because of these injuries. It's pretty ridiculous. So for the way they played in the National Series, the way they played in the one Marlins game after the team meeting, like I just think that they're back. Like, and back, is it going to end in a World Series title? I have no idea. Like to say I need this series to really believe they're back, and then I need them to go take 2 or 3 against the Royals, and then it's like you don't. Like it just watch the way they play. Watch how more locked in. They had the kind of feel most of the weekend of a team that had the team meeting, put that stuff behind them, and they're ready to go play baseball again. So it's a big series. It's a chance to step on a throat, but I don't have this overwhelming sense of like I need them to go. Like, as long as they don't go and do what they did in Arizona, I'm going to be pretty happy. You have your 3 horses on the mound. You have Wheeler, you have Nola, you have Sanchez. The Braves are going to be desperate, whatever that means. They just signed Gio Urshela this morning. So, yeah, I think that they're going through a little bit of desperation mode. But I just kind of trust what I've seen on the offensive side. Chris Sanchez was brilliant. Nola was good. I've made this point a couple times. I think against better opponents, it doesn't go as well. I think that he threw 107 pitches or 111 pitches in 6 innings, which is a good amount, and it was a shutout. But like I think that again against better team might be different. And Wheeler was just dominant. So those 3 are huge. My sign of encouragement, James, is I think the approaches on offense look a lot better. And they look more locked in from a holistic sense.
So I have no idea how they look, obviously, but they look great in the 13-3 game.
They did.
I will say, just generally speaking, I'm of 2 minds on this week's series. I almost said this weekend because I'm off right now, so it feels like the weekend. This week's series against the Braves. I would like to see them handle business. It's not like they have gone into a big series and handled business. Dodgers series, I guess, is the one exception over the last 2 months. So I would like to see them do it. But like to your point, like the way they play is more important to me right now. It is getting a little tight in the National League, so I have not looked at the standings. Well, just now I looked it up. Like, so they're behind the Dodgers and the Brewers are like right on them. So like that I don't love. And again, I don't think you have to be the 1 seed or any of that stuff. I actually like the more the season plays out, the more I'm just reminded that it's bleeping baseball, man. Like, honestly, the team that's hottest in October is going to win the World Series probably every year. I mean, like the Rangers thing, I looked it up too. They lost 9 straight last year. They were 5-15 over a stretch in August. They blew the division. Like, I'm sure Rangers fans were like, screw this team. And then they won the World Series. It just feels like you just got to be there, and you just got to be playing good baseball at the end of the season. Honestly, as silly and as like, I don't think that how a team is playing in August correlates to winning the World Series anymore. I don't.
Yeah, and that was, believe it or not, that was my mindset during the slump. It reached a point where I was like,
it went too far. It was too much. It's like one human can only stand so much. Like, come on. There's not enough positivity in the world to power through that.
Yeah. It's like, listen, I looked at you have no idea how many times I looked at the Rangers schedule last year. But I mean, I think both them and the Diamondbacks both had 7 and 17 stretches at some point.
The Diamondbacks were freaking had a negative run differential for Christ. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I also think, and I don't want to pay for it because I can only pay for so many subscriptions to things. But like Joel Sherman wrote a whole thing the other day about how baseball is changing. Like all these teams are kind of doing this. Like the days of the dominant regular season team kind of feels over. Like I think there is a little bit more load management happening in baseball.
Why wouldn't there be? You watch these teams win 111, 108, 104, 106 every year. None of them ever win the World Series. Like, why would you try and win that many games? Like,
well, and I also think that I think like a lot of these teams I think feel more comfortable winning the 90 to 95 and like not stressing so like. part of the traction, I guess, to having more of these teams making the playoffs is going to be like teams are just going to devalue the regular season because it just like as long as you're
because it's devalued because it is devalued. It just is.
As long as you're in, it just doesn't matter. Like it just really doesn't matter because, and it was funny. So Middleton had a lot of sit down quotes. You know, all the beat guys got it. And it was interesting. He recalled a conversation that he had with Pat Gillick when he first hired Pat Gillick in 2005, and he was part of the ownership group and whatnot. And basically, Pat Gillick, he asked him, you know, what does it take to win a World Series? Like, what do we have to do? Like, how can I get this organization in the right spot? All that stuff. And Pat Gillick goes, it's all luck. He's like, you know, it's luck. It's getting hot at the right time. Because I'm sure that Middleton, as a billionaire, he's looking at it like there's things we can do here to where we can like cut all the negatives out.
Ourselves in position.
Right. Like there has to be a formula, right? Like there has to be something that's gonna equate success. And Pat Gillick was like, listen, man, it's pretty much just luck. Now, I'm sure Pat Gillick didn't say, listen, brother, it's just a little bit of luck, man.
There's a little more nuance to that conversation. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Hey, man, go out and get lucky, brother.
Yeah. Meanwhile, he's like, all right, I'm going to go trade for Jason Worth. We're going to get Moyer. We're going to get Blanton at the deadline.
It's just luck, says arguably the greatest general manager in the history of baseball.
Until Dave Dombrowski takes home his third. Until
it's gonna get there.
It does. But he's right, you know, and it's hard to say that because it's hard to say that when they're slumping because like you want to react. Like we watch these games, we're both very positive Phillies fans.
Yes, and we're also very emotional about it. Like we don't like. It's not like we're taking it in stride. It's not like they like blow a game and we're like, well, only matters if they're hot in October. Like, yeah,
I know.
I'm dying. Jack's like really dying. Yeah, we know.
Yeah. So God bless you if you can. It's a struggle for me, but the whole luck factor is real, man. Like it comes down to if you're just playing good at that time, like you're gonna win the World Series. It sounds kind of dumb to say. It sounds kind of like, oh, of course, Jack. But like ultimately, like all right, the best example is 2022. Like I'm sure there are people saying, oh, they gotta beat this team for me to believe. They gotta beat this team for me to believe. And they went
on a run. Team Segura hit one ball, and all of a sudden it was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, we're back. We're back. So, it's just
we hate like there's topics on WIP about does this team deserve to celebrate in the locker room if they clinch a playoff spot?
Well, that sounds like the camera.
Ridiculous. Yes, it was, and it was ridiculous, and I thought it was one of the dumbest things he ever said, and I told him that on the air. But still, like,
well, Giulio said that he didn't want them to make the playoffs. He didn't want them to make the playoffs.
That's my point. Is like whatever the way that people said it. The point was people were so annoyed with this 2022 Phillies team in September of 2022 that they were saying things like that.
Well, and by the way, hand up. I mean, we had a meltdown saying that this is the biggest group of losers that we've ever seen. Did.
That's my point. And then literally a week later, we're on a magic carpet ride, coming very freaking close to winning the World Series. Yeah, baseball's crazy. Like,
baseball's.
And I mean, think about it. It makes sense. It's 162 games. Like, any team can beat any team, and then we boil it down to 3, 5, and 7 game series. Like, of course, there's going to be a lot of randomness to it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's getting more random. I really do. And
yeah, because the wild cards and the extra teams and all of this. I mean, 3-game series, like anyone can freaking win a free game. Like if somehow, I don't think they're going to get in, but if somehow the Pirates sneak into, we've talked about this, and it looks like Skeens is starting to run a steam and all that stuff. But still, like if the Pirates sweep into a 3-game series, they could beat. A team could have 120 wins, and they could throw out Skeens and Jones, and it could be over. Like it's it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's wild, and you hope that the Phillies are in the right spot. And I think that the good part is that they had a team meeting, and Franzen mentioned this. He was on the afternoon show on Friday, and he was like the best sign about the team meeting is that no one knows what happened in the team meeting.
Yeah, that was like the doors were just shut. No one even knew what was happening. The whole thing is good.
And he said
it wasn't just for show is the point. It wasn't like, hey, look at us, team meeting. Yeah.
He said like the bad team meetings are the ones where the media gets the leak of like, here's what they talked about. You know what I mean? And the fact that they all came
players only, and Francisco Lindor stepped up in front of the room, and you know that kind of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Hold on. Speaking of the Mets, real quick, a quick side note here. So Francisco Alvarez hits the home run last night, and good reaction. It was
Didn't even know he was
warranted.
back from injury, but go ahead.
It was off Sir Anthony, which was tough to see. Sir Anthony's been really
He's been
dominant.
good. He's been really good
for the Orioles. The video of Pete Alonso trying to like get to home plate and jump around. He's the biggest loser that I think baseball's ever had. I don't think there's anyone that's ever come close to Pete Alonso. He is the number one loser in the history of baseball. Like you're again, no one has done more harm to make baseball and make it be cool again than Pete Alonso. He just stop, please stop. But back to the Mets aren't, they're not playing that well. But they've certainly
cooled down since their grimace days.
I will say, like in the National League, the Phillies are still number one in like a lot of power rankings, which I find like a little funny. Like I just don't think there's much separation between a lot of these teams.
All the teams, yeah.
Like, dude.
But at the same time, like, can I be honest? Like, I feel like the Diamondbacks are the only one that really scare me. Like, I agree with you. They're all the same. Like the Brewers, like I just can't get scared of the Brewers. I can't do it. I know. They're a game behind or a half game behind. I get it. Like I know, and they're a smart organization, and they go out and they smart.
Real quick on the Brewers. The one thing that
they lost Yelich. Like I just can't like get there, man.
The one thing that I think is different about this year's Brewers and the last couple of years Brewers is the last couple of years it was all pitching. Yeah, this year, like Contreras is a stud, Reese is there, and Chourio, by the way, plus 3,000 for NL Rookie of the Year right now. Like Jackson Merrill could win it if Paul Skeens had shut him down, but I'm just saying if you're looking for something, Jackson Chourio has been awesome. Like they have
get there. I get it. I get it. And again, to the point, anyone can win in October, like literally anyone. So I just can't. Like the Diamondbacks, the only one I go in, and I'm like, don't want to play those guys.
So. I agree, obviously, because of our history. I do think the Padres are very worrisome as well.
They're too. No. I'm not saying I'm psyched to play the Padres. I'm saying the Diamondbacks are the only one that scare me. I agree. Yeah. Padres actually might be number 2 over the Dodgers. It's close between those two.
Yeah, I guess I need to see the Dodgers at full strength again before I'm too worried about them. But dude, you go Scott. You go Suarez, you go Jason Adam, you go the one guy that was on the ridiculous strikeout streak.
Strada.
Yeah,
Strada's sick. And then they got Dylan C. And like they just got dudes, man.
Musgrove's back.
Yeah, Musgrove's back.
So like and that's the thing about the deadline. We look back on, and it's like they made moves to help. Obviously, like Estevez, I'm worried about him. I really am. I mean, I think him and Alvarado, if you look for my biggest question mark on the team right now, it's the back end. Like even Hoffman, I'm not like too concerned, but obviously he's been human the last month, and Strom's been human the last month. It's really Estevez and Alvarado. Like Alvarado I think might be cooked, and Estevez, like it's so much hard contact. So like you didn't see it. He blew a save on Friday. And
I saw and then they won. That was like they wanted I saw the recap. I just didn't actually see the game, but so it's 2-0 going in the ninth. They just blew it.
Mm-hmm.
Not great. Yeah, we won.
Yeah, it's a little dicey. It's a little like watching his innings. It's a lot of hard contact. Whatever.
Well, yeah, it does seem like the ball's hit very hard off of him. I agree.
But like the one thing about the deadline is that it did not separate them from these other teams. Like they're and what really kind of
because some of the names too, like obviously Randy's been doing great in Seattle. Michael Kopech,
cooled off, sadly.
Michael Kopech was got for nothing, and he's been phenomenal and all. But these guys were out there, like Michael Kopech. How many times did you say that guy's name on here? They're talking about Crochet like nonstop. Like maybe just steal Michael Kopech while you're at it. Like we said this at the time, and I feel this way. Like, and if they don't win the World Series, I'm gonna feel like it's a big part of it. Is I felt like they did not really go for it at the deadline. Like they just didn't. Like this was a year where you had, a clear chance. The last 2 years they kept saying, "Oh well, guys got to show us they're worth it, right? They're a 500 team essentially, or slightly better than 500 or whatever." When the deadline happened, it's like, all right, well, go prove it. Fine, I get that. They proved it this year, and to the point where before the season they even told us we're going to save the powder for the deadline. Like, I just. Like, I know it was an expensive market, but even still, not one top 100 prospect got traded. Like we talked about, you could have gone and gotten Kopech. You could have gone and gotten Adam. You could have gotten these guys who might have cost more than you want, but also worth it to go freaking win a World Series. So yeah, I if they don't win this year, I will absolutely look at that deadline and say I blame that as part of it.
Well, and that's why it brought me back to the whole luck thing that Gillick was talking about. And I do still believe that there was a little bit of like, I don't want to trade our future because I want to keep this window open. I want to keep the window open because we know it's luck heading into the postseason anyway. So I don't want to go through what I went through after 2012 to 2020-ish, 2021, and make sure that we have consistent reinforcement so that we're always having a shot. We're always having a chance. And I think that's what they. That's
you
what
maximize your chances. You maximize your chances to get in the dance, to have a chance to take. But and
big
that's
difference.
Fair. And that's fair, but you can also maximize your percentage of luck in a given season by making your team better.
Well, and the other thing, my only problem with that philosophy, well, there's a lot of problems, but the other problem with it is like, okay, but like look at the Sixers, right? The Sixers for the last 6 years, 7 years have had a chance, quote unquote.
Every year.
But
just ask Elliot Short Parks.
Just ask Elliot.
He'll tell you.
But look at how it's talked about in the city now. Like, it's talked about in the city of like, oh, who cares? Like, I don't care. Like, wake me up when you get out of the second round. And we're still not there at the Phillies. Like 22, amazing. Last year, mostly amazing. I think people are geeked up for Red October. But if you keep coming up small and not getting the job done, then eventually you start turning people off. So we're not like close to there. Like, obviously that's a little bit ways down the way. But that quote about luck and Gillick saying that, it really did kind of bring me back to the deadline and say, that's kind of the way that they thought about it at that point. So
I don't think there's any question. They said we're not giving up someone who could be with us for a decade or whatever for a reliever or this or that. Like I know that's part of it, but that's a shame because at a certain point, when you've not won a World Series in 15 years and you've only won 2 in your franchise's history and you're in the middle of a window, like I do think that you need to, and I know you're a franchise that needs to historically prioritize drafting and developing, and they do, but trust your guys. That's why you prioritize putting smart people in there. Trust your guys to replenish. Like, you got to go for it. I hope, like, if they win the World Series, all good, whatever. But like, if they don't, I'm gonna remember that they didn't fully go for it. I just will.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so just go win the World Series. We don't have to deal with that.
So go win the World Series. How about that? All right. What else?
Well, should we talk about where we're going to be Thursday?
Well, that's what I had up. Yes, we're going to the Trap Tavern.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome. Come hang out with us, people.
Yes, come hang out with us. Yes.
I thought you were going to say something there.
I thought you had more.
Totally stopped. I don't have the address handy, so I thought you could talk for a second. I could pull up the address.
No, that's good. That's dynamite. So first off, it's Phil's Braves.
I thought you'd fill for me, so I wouldn't have to explain the thing. But these things happen.
Well, listen, it's good to say. Pros are pros.
Pros are pros.
Pros are pros. So Thursday we'll be out of the Trap Tavern. Great place. Was there a couple of years ago. Always a phenomenal time, and it's in Collegeville, so it's out there.
It is the world, the oldest town, one of the oldest towns in PA. How about that? Family run.
Wow, love that.
Good thing I pulled this up. It's exciting.
Yeah, we're learning a lot.
Kitchen's open late. 3 separate bar areas. It's gonna be great, Jack.
Yeah, I know.
Very excited. 25 beers on tap. I will try some of those. So it is for those wondering. I know you'll have Google, I suppose, but 416 West Main Street in Trap, PA. So we can't wait, dude. It's gonna be awesome. It's been way too long since we had an event.
Yeah, well, and I don't think I've ever the last time I've physically put in an address. I look it up on Google Maps and just say
that's what I mean.
Tavern.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So
it's not MapQuest days.
But you know what?
Hey, how'd you ever get around without a map or with that GPS?
It's a great question. So
was it just vibes?
Yeah, it was mostly like if you drive somewhere.
Were you looking at the sun?
No, it was no. It was a lot of like do it once and remember. It was like, okay, yeah, I've driven there before. I can get there. Like boom, just like that, like literally like that. And then the other thing you would do for trips where you really truly didn't know where you're going is, believe it or not, Jack, you would print out directions from MapQuest.
Oh yeah,
and bring them in your car with you. And yes, my
first long drive, I was driving to beautiful Neshaminy High School to to watch a high school.
Spend much time out in that one.
To watch a Ruston playoff game, and I got completely lost, and I was in the one sign to the last exit in PA, and I said that's probably the wrong place to go.
You're not that far away, actually.
Yeah, my mom's like, GPS is a bunch of nonsense. Here, take the MapQuest. I'm like, oh, okay. So last time I ever trusted that ever again, and it was awful. I couldn't. And then Jill and I. We couldn't find the car for an hour after the game. It was one of the worst experiences of my life, but it taught me GPS is actually pretty good. So. Pretty
good. So
pretty good.
Just put it in your GPS. It's the Trap Tavern.
Well, dude, you have to talk to people. Well, by the way, talk about the pressure on the gas station people. Like they got to know where everything is.
It's a really good point. Yes, it used to matter. Now they don't. Now they can just be like, figure it out.
Type it into your own little GPS.
Phone idiot.
Yeah. What a moron. But yeah, dude, it's one of the things that of all the I know we always do what's your favorite invention? Like, dude, getting anywhere without a GPS seems impossible. So I'll go with the GPS.
Yes, it was. There was.
Well, and parallel parking without the rear view camera. Right.
I refuse to use it. I hate the rear view camera.
Dude, your car's cheating. You drive a Mini Cooper.
But I can parallel park any car. I'm a great parallel parker. It's one of my true skills in life. I'm not good at many things, but parallel parking, I'm amazing at.
Do you think?
I'll talk crap about parallel parking.
Do you think that people had any doubt that you owned a Mini Cooper? It's maybe the most Seltzer car of all time. It's
honestly, there are at least 4 times a day when I'm driving around the city and I'm like, thank God I have a Mini Cooper. I will drive up the spots and I'll be like, nah, not even I can fit in there. And then I'll fit in with 6 inches on each side. It's the greatest car that has ever been created for a city. I feel super confident.
Well, it's the way that it putters too even sounds like you.
I know.
It's just can tell Seltzer's here. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I want. I want people to know that I'm here. So it's all right, time to get serious.
Yep, that's exactly right.
That's right.
So Chris Sanchez on the mound on Thursday night, which is exciting. Versus
that's fun. Normally, if Ranger's not healthy, we can get Chris. That's good.
Is Chris Sanchez
Ranger for our last one?
Been having this hotly contested debate of Chris Sanchez as the number 2 starter in the postseason over Nola, but I know they're
it's going to be Nola. Yeah, I do think the home splits is as good an argument as there is, but you know what? At this rate, they might not be playing at home in the second round anyway. So
yeah, fun times. They're fine. They're fine. But Thursday night, come hang out, Trap Tavern, all that good stuff.
Yeah, please, seriously, coming out. It's gonna be so much fun. Hopefully we'll do another one this year. I don't know if we will or won't. So try and get there. Coming out. It'll be awesome. All our real ones. We love you.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Trey had 10 heads.
Should take bag time, I'm assuming now.
Yeah, because
I got nothing else. I cannot believe we've talked for almost 30 minutes. It's a freaking miracle.
It's very easy.
I have nothing. It is. I know. You're right.
Trey had 10 hits this weekend, which is beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love when Trey's hot. He arguably is their most important player. When he's right, he just makes the whole thing go.
Takes Schwarber, the lineup to a different level. I agree.
Schwarber, he's gonna.
Well, it's because he also is the big. I feel like he's the most likely to go cold like that. You know what I mean? I know Bryce will go cold, but it's usually because he gets hurt or something will happen or whatever. Trey, it's just there's no rhyme or reason. It just feels like one day it could be the hottest hitter in baseball and the next day it could be gone. So I do think from that perspective, he has the highest variance of great to horrible.
Well, and he talked about that. Alex Coffey wrote a whole piece about how he's trying to find the middle ground. He's like, I don't get it.
He doesn't have one. It is insane, dude.
But this was not 2021. He was fine. 2022, he's fine. It's really just been here. And his swing did look like. So I guess he watched tape of his swings in 2021 and 2022.
He really does work, man. He watches tape. He gets in that. Credit to the guy. He really is mechanical about it.
Right. So, and his swing did look like he tried to add more. They looked more vertical, and I don't know. We'll see. But at least from that standpoint, it was definitely positive. One of the issues with Taijuan Walker, of the many issues with Taijuan Walker, is at least last year it would be 6 or 7 innings of 4-run, 5-run ball. Now it's 4 innings. He's gone 4 innings in his last 3 starts. That's the pro. He is he cannot be on the team next year. Like they have to buy him out. And like next year's rotation on paper, James. Like I know you got the puffy eyes. I know it's been a long couple days, but like I need to get you fully excited and maybe do an extra hour on today's podcast.
Nope.
I mean,
I've got my stopwatch going. We got like 8 minutes left.
Think about next year's rotation of Wheeler, Nola, Chris Sanchez, Ranger, and Painter. Like, it's sick. He can't be here. He cannot be here. And I feel bad for him in one instance. No,
you don't.
He's cooked.
He's got $72 million in the bank. There is no feeling sorry for him. Like, go live a happy life, dude. Like, all good. Like, sorry for him is not like I feel sorry for the Phillies. I feel sorry that we paid him all that money. I feel sorry for us as fans that we got screwed by that. I do not feel sorry for Taijuan Walker. Taijuan Walker is an incredibly, incredibly lucky human being who should be kissing his freaking lucky stars. Like he should every morning wake up and be like, "Thank you, David Dombrowski. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you," and then just go about his business. But every day he should start the day like that because he's the luckiest human ever lived. Go ahead.
Well, as a fellow high-level pitcher, it's just tough to see a guy lose it. You know what I mean?
Good point. So, no, that's a good point. I get it. I can't get that to you.
Exactly.
I can't.
Thank you. Yeah. Everyone says Seltzer's a good guy until it comes to Taijuan Walker. Alumni weekend was really cool. I know you missed a lot of it. I did. They debuted or unveiled Monty's angle, which I think is phenomenal. It's a really nice touch. So
Monty's angle, what's Monty's angle?
So Dave Montgomery, obviously, to help design CVP, and the angle that JT hit the 20 inside the Parker. They said that Dave Montgomery wanted that angle in because it would create excitement for plays like that, and then they renamed it Monty's angle. So
cool.
So they're always first class with stuff like that.
Look, Dave Montgomery deserved something like that. Now, my only worry is we're gonna start. It feels like everything's getting named now, and it's like at a certain point, the whole ballpark's gonna have some sort of like name thing on them. It's Harper's Corner. It's this. It's that. It's it. But at the same time, like Dave Montgomery absolutely deserves it, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, I wish it was almost like Fenway, where it's like that's Pesky's pole, but it's not. Like it's just known. But CBP again, only 20 years old. We got a long time before we gotta start.
That's
naming
my worry.
things.
100 years from now, it's like that's that.
Well, I think we're close to it being renamed the Fritz and Seltzer Miller Lite Liberty Landing.
Oh, really?
I mean, we gotta be getting close. We gotta be getting
not
close.
Far off. I mean, yeah. I mean. We're pretty responsible for it.
Sure. So. Well, and maybe this is just an idea, just spitballing. Mm-hmm. Like you cut your ankle off and you could place it where you broke your ankle.
That's a really good
celebrating Bedlam at the bank.
Yep. That's good.
And by the way, I
like that.
I don't know if it was Bedlam at the bank, but in my head, it's always you hurt your ankle.
We've gone with that. Yeah.
It's a way better story than whatever one you were trying to say.
It was the Harper homer in the 7-0 World Series game and that made it so, the 2-0 homer. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's the one it actually was, but Bedlam at the bank is a much better story.
Way better story. Again.
I know.
Please start thinking more smart when we're doing this stuff.
Fair. I got no response there.
This is only for me.
I can barely open my eyes still. Have you noticed?
I know. There was a little too much Lieberthal this weekend. And it's like he was everywhere. He was like, He was even at the fish show. It was wild. I was like, Mike Lieberthal, what's he doing here? Phillies Wall of Famer Mike Lieberthal. Again, it's not really it's like why did it take so long to get you could have put Dave Montgomery in instead of Mike Lieberthal. You could
absolutely. I mean
you could have put Pat Gillikin before Mike Lieberthal. Yeah. You could have put all these figures in before Mike Lieberthal. You could have put Chris Wheeler in before Mike Lieberthal.
Even some of the controversial ones like Bobby Abreu deserved to be in before Mike Lieberthal and wasn't.
What is he?
So many of them.
And it's like I'm not. What is he doing on that wall? I just don't get it. Yeah. One of the commenters here did point out. I mentioned Wheels, dude. Wheels was on the broadcast over the weekend, and I know you didn't see it.
Oh, it's fantastic, though, right?
Dude, it's such a nostalgic feel of and he still has the same voice and everything. He sounds just.
We had him on the morning show. I want to say last October during the playoff run. We had him on to talk about it, and it's like that's Wheels. It's like that's Chris Wheeler. That's freaking awesome. Like, it was just great to listen to him talk. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Also didn't appreciate, they put together a 4-minute montage of the best moments at CBP. And once again, the David Bell cycle was on it.
What?
It's like they do it just to troll me. I really do. I think they do it just to...
Why?
No one remembers the David Bell cycle, okay?
No one cares.
No one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares.
No one cares.
Hector Neris.
Don't care. Now especially, it's gone. It's over. It's like removed from the record books.
Exactly right. Hector Neris released by the Cubs.
I saw that. How about wait a second. Like, right now, go sign him. Like, are you kidding? I would love to. Like, obviously, like, maybe 6th inning work or something. But I'm very in. By the way, I don't know. Can I ask a quick question though about relief pitching? Because I don't know if it continued over the weekend, but prior to leaving, is Jose Ruiz still like our best reliever? Is that still going on?
He's back.
Yeah, like, dude, when I left, he was like, it was like 9 innings, like there are 13 shutout innings or something since the whatever. Like, even great, or 13 appearances, 9 innings, something. I don't know what it was, whatever.
And he had a key backup of the base that kept it a close game in the Schwarber game. So
do we trust Jose Ruiz? Is kind of what I'm asking.
In the 5th and 6th inning, yeah, for sure. He's back up to 97. The curveball.
He was like it was a high leverage spot in the Marlins game. Like, he was good. Anyway,
early season Jose Ruiz, I was very in on. Went away for a little bit, but he's definitely better than Junior Marte. So I do appreciate that. And then just real quick, the 2 Middleton quotes I thought were really important, and I think like really showed how much.
The quote I've said it on High Hopes like a million times. The one.
What about how?
He's a steward of the franchise, that he is doing it for us, for all of us, that it's not his team, it's our team. And he said it. It's like the best. I was like, John, you hero. Thank you for understanding what a sports owner is and the millions and millions of people whose hopes and dreams rest on your shoulders. Thank you.
It's got to be a little bit of pressure, right?
You would think? Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit of pressure. So that was a really good quote. And I think it's something that resonates with a lot of fans. They appreciate it. And it's all you
want your owner to say. You want your owner to feel, all you want is the guy who's owning your sports team. Do you want him to feel like he cares like you care? Like, that's it. And he does. He cares like we care. It's awesome.
And by the quotes, it seems like he might care a little bit too much.
But actually more, like, like he actually might be way more intense than we are about.
Definitely was not handling the losing the way that like Thompson and a lot of the players are handling it. Like,
we'll be fine. He's like, you mother bleepers, like, not this ain't. Do you work. Think like we talked about how we needed Rob Thompson when they were losing a bunch, like going and like flip over the water go. It was John Middleton who should have been in there breaking TVs and freaking out.
What if it was? What if the team meeting was just Middleton? Yeah, it was just Middleton yelling at them,
going off like just scorched earth. I love that.
Oh, it'd be amazing. I mean, they talk about his speech in spring training as a reason why they came out on fire. What if it comes out that Middleton saved the season with a fiery, passionate, like, you're not gonna keep making me look like a fool? I mean, I would totally believe it. It's a pretty strong sentence to say.
It's a Jack Middleton sentence, is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
for sure. And it's like, it's almost like parenting in a way. It's like, you're making me look like an idiot.
You're right. Yeah.
Do you want that?
You're representing the family name right now.
You're representing the Fritz name. Do you know how high in regard that is held around the Delaware Valley?
Great point. Do you know me? Do you know how many people know me? I mean, come on. I'm Jack Fritz. Come on.
Yeah. Get the bunt down.
It was good.
It's good. Get the bunt down.
You're not eating dinner tonight. Wait, sorry, never mind. Sorry, I didn't say that. Yep. Okay, we're good.
You're making me look like it. Yeah. So, but either way, good Middleton quotes, and I do appreciate. He said he listens to the radio and he feels the caller's sentiments. It's like, on which ones? Which callers? Which topics do you agree with?
I definitely have had some caller sentiments that I don't agree with.
Listen, it was a tough weekend for Joe in the Northeast. Cal Stevenson. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough on him, but we'll see if Cal can break out of this thing and come back. So, dude, I really do think the Neris thing could be real. You know, they released him. They probably want him to go try to sign on with a contender. I think Hector would want to come home.
Yeah.
I think they were digging around on the idea of bringing him back at the trade deadline. So like, dude, if you like to replace the Marte, and by the way, I talked about this on the solo pod. Like, they're gonna have to try to find a way to manage these guys' innings. Like, I don't need
totally
and what made Sunday so annoying, and I'm sure you've missed the great discourse over the last couple of days about.
I saw some tweets, but I didn't actually know that. So like, you should have pinch hit, and then Strom didn't pitch well.
you had a runner on first base down by 2 in the 9th inning, and Bryce is sitting. You have Cal Stevenson up.
Yeah.
Or you had no outs. Sorry, you had no outs, and you had Cal Stevenson up with a runner on first, and he decides to pinch or to let Cal Stevenson hit, and he grounds into a double play. So for the next 48 hours, it's been, why didn't Rob Thompson put in Bryce Harper?
So here's my quick take on it, just without being in moment. Yeah. Why didn't he put in Bryce Harper, man?
I know.
Seems like a pretty obvious spot to put in Bryce Harper if he's on the bench for that day. So, I think I'd have to agree.
Or where's Weston Wilson, who also didn't play, or where's someone else? You know what? So
not Cal Stevenson is definitely the right decision.
It's something we'll look back on. What made me especially mad is because Ruben was on with you guys, and he's like, trust me, that's never going to happen again. And then it happened.
I know he did that. He said, you're right. He did say it. But I don't know if he was talking specifically about the JT part of that. Because when Ruben was talking, it made it seem like, because that was about the time that JT didn't hit for Stubbs when Ruben was saying that. And it made me feel like it was about the JT day off thing. But even then, I feel like that happened again. Like, the topper, not like, I understand it's a long season, and we just talked about it. Like, I think organizationally they think that all that really matters is winning in the playoffs, and there's kind of a crapshoot to get it, and blah 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 and all that stuff. But like you don't have to not try and win the games. Like, you don't have to not go for it in each game. Like, batting Bryce Harper in a game where he has a day off, is that like drastically going to ruin the rest of his season or the next week for him or whatever? He can't get up and swing a freaking bat and try and win a game. Like, I don't get the mentality of like I kind of, the littlest bit I get all right, JT catches and he's 30.
JT I'm fine with. I didn't need JT.
That I can get with, right? I get that. He's a catcher. There's a thing about calling game and getting into a game and doing that whole thing. Like, I get that. But like, Bryce Harper can't grab a bat and go away because he's off for a day. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, and listen, Rob Thompson believes in the full off day. He believes but I think that there has to be, especially when you get to August.
Brother, who loves a good off day more than me? I support off days.
It's the morning show mantra. But it feels like, all right, so especially when it gets in August and it gets in September, hey, Bryce, I'm going to give you the day, but if I need you the 9th, would love for you to be available. And Bryce is going to be like, of course.
Of course. Like, Bryce would never say no to that.
It's a
Bryce could be dying in the dugout and be like, "I'll go ahead, coach." Like, come on.
Well, and by the way, like, okay, let's say you have an 8-4 lead. He knows he's not going to have to pinch it, so he can just chill.
Exactly. It's just if it's a 2-run lead and Bryce knows that he could theoretically be the second hitter of an inning, guess what? Bryce is going to be freaking ready, man.
Mm-hmm. So that was annoying. Well, the last point on it that made it more annoying for me was, like, again, you pitch Hoffman when you're losing, and
you're like trying to win the game. Yeah.
So
why change?
like with those two specifically, because they need them, they're gonna have to start managing these guys as best as they can. Like, they just have to. It's with Alvarado question mark, Estevez question mark. That's why they might need Neris. That's why they might need Neris as another arm that can extend the bullpen and give these guys some rest, because I think they really, really need it. So that's it. So I hope they bring home Hector. He's a Philly through and through, even though he did not pay us back in 2022.
He did not.
Series.
Yeah,
he
which would have been really
one
nice.
game for us. Yeah,
just
come
one.
on, Hector. Come on, Hector.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
He'll
But
get us back. Come back.
He'll
help us win a World Series. Wouldn't that be something?
Although
he'll
Kirkering
be a Brave soon, because that's exactly what's going to happen.
Kirkering wears number 50.
Ooh.
I know. What number does Hector wear?
Yeah, we'll have to figure that one out. This is let's get him in here first, and then we'll get the number together. It's good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty important. But yeah, either way, bring home Hector.
I agree. You got anything else? I cannot believe we went 45 minutes. I had nothing to say. This is good.
Yeah, well, Been watching a lot of minor league baseball, so I'll spare you that.
You've been watching more minor league baseball, and I'm watching pro baseball. That ends now. I'm ready.
Aiden's hot in August. Aiden's hot in August.
Phillies Braves tonight. Aiden's hot in August. Both things important. Coming out on Thursday, Trap Tavern. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have a blast. Just put it in your Google. As Jack said, it will probably just show up for you. You don't even need the address. There you go. Google it. All right. We'll talk to you guys later. These are Fritz and Seltzer.